Hello, hello.
Hi, Clossius. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I nearly said good morning, but then I realized it's push to talk and I forgot to push.
No worries, no worries. Um, all right. You are bi-weekly, correct?
No, monthly. It's just that I started on the second last day of October, so we had to catch up.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna put December plus one. All right. Just trying to keep track of my notes. 12, 9,
Uh,
20,
we're,
20.
we're, we're all caught up now, though. Games have been going good. I have really improved a lot. I can really see that. Um, and I really valued going to the 9 by 9 and 13 by 13. That helped massively. Uh, I'm much more aware of my cutting points now, and I'm looking after myself rather than trying to take advantage of my opponent. So that's been really good. Uh,
Awesome. Awesome. I noticed. So you're 19 Qs. You broke out of the 20 Qs.
well, yeah, I touched there earlier. I managed to touch 16 for a little while, but that was on the back of 9 by 9, so that's obviously a lot easier. But I think I'm pretty solidly close to 18 now. So if I stay in this range for a few weeks, I'll be happy as I'm getting better.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Um, Good. It looks like we're on the right track. That's exactly what I want to hear. So we are up to 19 by 19, correct? And we went to small boards to learn cutting points, and you know the basis of 3-3 invasions of life and death,
Yep,
yes?
yep. And I'm doing my Go problems and I'm doing lots of stuff. So the area, as I said in the message, that I'm struggling with is if I follow the Clossy approach in the opening, I'm often getting a really good start. And then I don't know how to keep it. I'll have this massive great area and I just get squished. So I was hoping today we could actually play a game where you let me get a pretty good opening. That'd be nice if you let me. And then we clone that game so we can have two or three attempts at me maintaining and holding my position instead of letting you just take it off me.
All right. So I actually had an idea about that. Um, so if you are up for it, and if I can do it, if I can figure out how to do it, I actually had an idea that if we could do this live, which like we are doing, I was thinking maybe I could do a demo board and we could have someone volunteer in chat, and then we can talk together about how to play against them, and I can coach you through it and show you how to take that lead. Because the problem, uh, so whenever I play teaching games, I usually just skip the attacking step and I only focus on on my weaknesses and big moves. So it would be a little hard for me to give you some lead without just passing because I have trouble playing negative value moves or nothing value moves. If that makes sense.
Yep.
So I was thinking if we could have someone in chat around 20Q to 18Q, uh, then we could coach you playing them.
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. So let me make a demo board, and then if someone is in chat, yeah, it has to be around 20 to 18Q, because we want it to be around his level, because we want to say, hey, how do we do against this level? So yeah, 20 to 18Q, someone in chat that wants to volunteer, and let me see. Can I set players somehow? Does anyone know if I can set players on a demo? That's what I was wanting to do. This is fork game
Oh,
player to challenge. Okay, so I can fork a game, but I can't play a game. Okay, so I just have to do an unrated game. This is what. So I've done unrated games in the past with people. Um,
we could start off you and me doing an unrated game and do the opening and then fork it and then do that. Is that possible?
mm, if you want an example of how I take the lead, that would work. But if you're wanting to take the lead, it's a little bit hard for me to do that because I'm not sure how to do that. I don't know how to play like an 18Q. Um, okay. So let's see. What level is Pac-Man? Is Pac-Man volunteered? See, Pac-Man is around your level. So Pac-Man, do you want to do it? And then so if you want to play a teaching game, I can play a teaching game with you, but it's probably going to go in I'm probably going to take the lead. Is that okay?
I'm happy to learn. Let's experiment, and you might come across a good way to do things. So that's fine with me.
Okay. So I can challenge you to a quick teaching game, and then I'll show you how I do it, and then we'll challenge Pac-Man, and I'll kind of coach you through doing it as well. So let's see. PMC. Okay, so I'll send you a quick challenge real quick. And we'll just see how I play the opening. And I'm going to use my basics for 20 to 15Q.
Challenge received.
Teaching game, 10 minutes.
Game started.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so Pac-Man, stand by.
All right, so I've accepted.
Have a good game, and we'll just do a quick kind of opening. Okay, so I'm going to do open corners. And I'll just talk through the basics I do. I'm going to do open corners. Alright, so I'm going to do beginner Joseki, so I'm just going to make a base.
And I'll do the same.
Okay, so open sides. I'll go on the bottom side. And do my beginner Josekis. Okay. Alright, so there's no more open sides. So now largest framework. So it's either going to be the bottom side or the right side. So since we're wanting to see, like, oh, I need my glasses before I go blind. Since we want to see how to take the lead, I'm going to pick the bottom side. And so there's a few ways I can do it. I can cap, I can shoulder hit, I can just 1-point jump. So I'm going to show you shoulder hits. Shoulder hits are my favorite to build at this level. So I'm just going to shoulder hit something and build an area.
Okay, and I was going to take the top middle, so I can end up getting a large area, like a large framework. Is that possible, or should I be working against your stone you just put there?
Well, I guess a shoulder hit, you want to respond at least once, because otherwise I'm going to take some liberties. Okay, so you build, so you go up. I can Nobi or 1-point jump, both are fine, so I'll just Nobi. And now you're wanting to play on the top side?
Yeah, if I maybe play here.
Okay. So you build yours, so I'm going to reduce yours while building mine, so I'll play on the other line of that influence and also build mine, because influence versus influence.
Okay, and if I then push across...
Okay, and I'm just going to keep building mine, because I think mine is bigger than yours, so I'm going to keep building mine.
Okay, so now that line between G11 and O5 is the line, right? So I need to be pushing against that line.
Yeah, if you want to play the largest framework and it's mine, then yeah, you want to push that line. Alright, and so I can either defend or kick you out. Defending is usually, in a Moyo versus Moyo, defending is usually not good because then yours becomes the bigger one. So I'm going to kick you out. So I'm going to play a capping move, I guess, and just kick you out.
Okay.
And, yeah, and then I'll just go on yours since you went on mine.
So now I'm going to try and surround you.
Oh, so now, you're going to surround me, but that's an attacking idea.
Yeah, but
you played a reduction. So reduction, usually you have to defend your way out because you don't have a base yet. I didn't go in your area. I'm pushing you out of mine. So in this case, I control this area, so I'm going to cut you, and now you have 2 weak groups.
Okay, I thought that you went into my area because I thought that line, that framework line, delivered.
Well, the line right now is shared, so it's actually no one's until someone gets a weak group in it. So if you had jumped out and I jump out, then it's even, and no one has the weak group. Pushing diagonals is bad. This is just hurting your own liberties.
Okay.
So So I stay connected, and you went in my area. Oh, sorry, you went in an area that I have some control over. So I, being in your area that you had control over, ran away while cutting you off. All right, so you're playing a 1 point jump next to a stone that has cutting points. So I'm going to push through, and I'm also running away.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm only worried about defense. I'm not worried about offense. Then I'm just going to run away and cut my way out. So I'm just going to focus on defense. Just run, 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 run.
Yeah, and I try and fight a never-ending game of creating cutting points for you for later, right? If I do this.
Yeah, you are playing a lot of moves that are cuttable
Yeah.
inside of the center that I control.
Yeah.
You control the right side, I control the left side, and you're creating the cutting points on my side.
Okay.
So it's this is not a good way to handle influence. You're supposed to be playing defense.
Good to know.
Yeah. So you tried to play offense with the reduction.
And I didn't think that was offense. I thought I was defending my area when you overstepped, but you didn't overstep. So I
Yeah, I played on your line of influence.
Right. So I'm misunderstanding this whole idea of a framework and how to tackle a framework line and how to push it back. Like I confused offense with defense. That's pretty bad, right?
You did it right.
That's pretty bad, right?
It leads to very bad results if you're not careful. Yeah. You did it right. You found my line and you were correct and you played on the line. But then I went to kick you out, and instead of running away so you don't get surrounded, you tried to surround me. And that's offense. And then you try to surround me with a non-connected shape, because the elephant's jump is not connected. So it's good for offense, but not for defense. And since you were supposed to play defense and run away, since you pushed my border, you need to escape so you don't get surrounded, and then that line is pushed back. But when you did what you did and tried to surround me, I just ran away with my reduction, but I ran through you, which cut you off. So I'm just going to play one more move for defense, and then I can start doing other stuff. And that's just defense first, and then I can go play big move. And here I definitely could do offense, but that's more 15Q, 16Q. So I'm not going to worry about offense too much. I'm just going to defend and then play big move. Defend and then play big move.
Okay. So now I'm going to try and cut my losses and build a bit of a line. Is that okay?
It would be if your area was the biggest area. But my area is the biggest area, so I'm going to keep making it bigger with a 1 point jump.
Okay, and then I'm just stuffed.
You have won.
So let's go ahead and take a look at this.
Black wins. Review started.
Alrighty. So I started with open corners, open sides. We played Joseki, and I approached, played Joseki, and now technically there's no open side. An open side is open when there's not an enclosure,
Yep.
there's not an approach, and
Yep.
there's not an extension somewhere.
Yep.
So none of the sides are open. So now it's largest framework. So you could say if it's yours, you can make it bigger, like this one or this one. You just make it bigger. And then when your opponent comes in, you get forcing moves, right? And so if it's your opponent's, then you can either go in or you can push it down or whatever. So you played yours. Probably you want to go fourth line since you have support on both sides, and also you want a 5-space extension for the extension. No, I don't want to say that because I think AI said 4 space is okay. So okay, you play here, but you want to be high since you have support on both sides. Okay, so you're building the right with an extension. Probably by technical definition, you have 2 moves on the same side, so technically it's not an open side, but there's several reasons why your move's okay. But according to the definitions that we were going by, technically your move might not be the correct one, but it's fine. No big deal. So I said, okay, there's no open sides.
So go back to... Yep. So in the last lesson, you explained that a framework needs to be like a bowl that can hold water. So it has to have 2 sides. So if I want to have a big framework, should I have put a stone up the top and defended L3 and O3 with fourth line, so I create that shape.
So usually, and then you want your opponent to come in so you can make a positive exchange rate. But when you don't have a bowl on either side, sometimes you can just say, I'm going to get some points while threatening the bowl, and then when they stop it, they have the biggest framework, I just go in, and it's a trade, right? And that's fine. Another clever idea is to try to build one side in Sente, and then go seal the other side. So, for example, if I can build this bowl in Sente, and they slide or whatever, and then I go over here, then I build both sides. And that would be a bowl. Now, it's not always that simple. Sometimes this is just, okay, you threaten a bowl, and then if they stop it, then you stop theirs. That's fine. And it's an exchange. You still got positive value because you got territory while threatening the bowl.
Right.
Your move is also okay for similar reasons. It threatens large framework if they don't do anything about it, while also getting some points. So it's not like you made a mistake. But let's talk basics. The reason I did my shoulder hit, and the reason I'm saying this one, is because normally what we want to try to think about is how can we make that bowl, and if we can make one side in Sente. So a good shape that is common and easy to use is a shoulder hit to build a framework. So if we say that the right side and bottom side are both equal and both have the potential to be a framework, then I usually pick my own because I like building mine first. So if two sides are equal, then I'll just build mine. And the common shapes that are fun to use that lead to very interesting results and are good to use at this level are capping moves and shoulder hits. Those are very common and easy to use shapes. So a shoulder hit here would actually be quite nice because I respawn once, you Nobi or jump back. Both are fine. And you can see that you're getting some side on this side. So the follow-ups are decently easy. And you also get half of a bowl. So you're also threatening stuff.
Right.
So that would be a way to build the right. But like I said, your move's also fine. I would prefer it on the fourth line, but it's not the end of the world. But then I went and built my bowl. Okay, so I said bottom and right are about equal, so I built mine. You played, and I played a Nobi. And then you played the top side. So this one, I'm not a fan of. The reason is, white is threatening the influence here. So when you play here, you are also threatening the influence here. So it looks like, yeah, I'm getting an influence, you're getting influence. But you turn it into an influence versus influence game where I have the first move. I'm going to push your line down while making mine bigger. So I have the advantage. So it's better to just push mine down in the first place rather than trying to start your bowl one step behind. So a shoulder hit here would be nice. You can push it down while threatening to build yours. Or you can just do a shoulder hit here to reduce. And so I guess the lesson here is learning more about shoulder hits for building or reducing frameworks. So this one would be a reduction, and then you just run away, and you play this shape. So you can just sacrifice one stone and make a bunch of tiger's mounts and keep running away. So it's a very nice shape for getting out. So 1 to 5 is a common sequence with the shoulder hit to reduce. You just escape very quickly. So that would probably be a way to handle this.
That looks good.
So you built yours, and so I said it's a Moyo versus Moyo because I built a bowl, I'm building a bowl, and you're building a bowl. So the best idea in a Moyo versus Moyo is if they're about equal, push theirs down while building yours. So I pushed yours down while building yours. So you could have done the same thing here. Push mine down while building. And it would be a race to see who's going to get the bigger one, right? And then we just keep trying to push. But you decided to go here. This one is not. This one is continuing on this edge without this edge yet. So this one was a little bit not good because you tried to build one side without building the other.
So that's like me trying to make a bowl with only one side.
Right.
The water's going to come out.
Right. So usually to build a bowl, if you're clever, the best way to do it is to build one side of the bowl in Sente and then go build the other side when that other side's done. Right. So you build one side in Sente and forcing, and then once that side's built, you have the initiative, and you go build the other side in Gote, you have a bowl, and they have to deal with it. But if you can't build it in Sente, that's fine. Just try to take into account, are you building the bowl faster than your opponent? If not, just go deal with theirs. So here, I'm like, well, mine's bigger, so I'm going to play here. 1-point jumps, caps, shoulder hits, very simple ways to build your bowl. And it's like, okay, you need to go deal with mine. So you chose reduction. That's also fine. Shoulder hits are other ways to do it, but just playing anywhere on that line is fine. So here, I'm like, well, if I just defend and you push me down, if I just defend, you see how yours is now getting bigger than mine? Well, I don't like that.
Yeah, but when I'm playing a game, when I'm playing a game, I always get pushed around. I don't know how to hold my line. Like,
well, you're not supposed to hold your line.
Then push.
Because if mine's bigger, then you want both sides to lose their influence. So, in this case, you push mine down, so I'm going to push yours down because yours is now bigger, and you defend, and then I defend, and then you walk in. And neither player has a moyo. And it's even. So, the result being even, you would like, because mine was bigger.
Right.
So, if you make the result even, then I don't get more. So, the big mistake that you made this game was you tried to build one side without building mine. And like I said, mine was bigger. And this is kind of what I was afraid of. That it's hard for me to not have the bigger moyo unless I play an obviously bad move. But I don't know how to... It's hard for me to do that. So I just usually choose not to attack, and I just play the basics to show you how it can work without attacking until they go in. So you go in, and then I just push you out. Okay, this is just me pushing you out. I'm threatening to surround you. You're supposed to just run away and play defense. But instead, you played this move. Now, this move we know is not defense because defense, by definition, is staying connected.
Right.
So this one we know is not defense because it has an obvious cutting point. So that means it must be offense because it's bending around my stone. Okay? So you're attacking me. But usually you don't attack with reductions. Because reductions are kind of floating groups. And they're useful because they can run away very easily. And then you destroy the area or push that line down. But they're not so good at attacking because they're floating. So here, I'm now getting cut off. So I'm going to run away back to my strength. And guess where the most obvious path for me to run is?
Right through me.
Straight through your stones.
Right through me.
Right. And that's why this immediately backfires. Because you tried to surround, but you were floating. And now you have two stones that are floating. Because let's draw a line from here to here and here to here. Yes, you can get out, but you have two stones that need to get out instead of one. So now it's two weak groups or two floating groups. So my job is just defend while keeping you disconnected. And so you push me, I stay connected, and then you play this 1-point jump. This is a really bad shape, by the way. This 1-point jump next to a stone, that's not how you deal with the elephant's eye, because then you just get cut. The way you deal with the elephant's eye is a knight's move, but that's only if you're attacking or surrounding. When you're defending, knight's moves are cuttable, so it's very dangerous. So probably, in this case, just sacrifice that stone by turning. Just give it up, and then run away.
Right. So I should have just chosen one side. Right. Chose one side, give up on the other side.
Right. Technically, you shouldn't have made a second weak group, but in this case, yeah, the best bet is just fix something and get out. But trying to surround me still, because this, again, you're not connected, there's cutting points. So you're trying to surround me. So again, you're attacking my group, and you're not playing defense. Defense is connected. This is not connected. Therefore, it's not defense. So what else does it do? It also surrounds me, so it's offense. So what do? I'm simply running away through your shape. And it's very easy for me to escape, because you have all these cutting points. Because you attacked me with cutting points, and that's usually not going to work. And you notice how all of my moves stay connected.
Yeah.
But your moves have cutting points everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the big difference. I'm playing defense, you're playing offense, but neither one of us had the shape to play offense. We were supposed to kick each other out.
Got it.
Because reductions are not really good moves to attack with. So I play one more move for defense, and here who has the bigger mayo, white or black? If we draw a line, if you just say I give up those stones, then mine is bigger. Because if you die, then mine's bigger. So white's is technically bigger, so you should just run away. And then reduce. And here, even here, white's is probably still bigger, so you got to invade. But if you just build yours, when mine is bigger, then I'm just going to keep making mine bigger, and we trade and then trade, and you see I get more. And so I win, because mine is bigger. Does that kind of make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And it just demonstrates how bad I am at dealing with that middle part of the board.
Well, that's fine, because you just got out of the 20 Qs, right? So it's learning a new concept. You're just learning how shoulder hits work. You're learning how reductions work. And that's okay. It's just the next step for you to learn. So saying that you're bad is not fair to yourself.
No. Well, I need to improve. Like, it's my next area to focus on.
Right. So the way I would say the thing you can learn from this is shoulder hits. And what you saw that I just built mine when mine was bigger. And when yours was bigger, so way back here, you reduced mine. And I'm like, well, if I just defend, his is bigger. Okay, so I can't just defend. So his is bigger. So now that means I'm going to reduce it. So how do I reduce? I play on the line of influence. And I do it in a way that also pushes you out. So I do it in a way that also threatens to surround you. So capping move. I could have also tried a 1-point jump. I could have also tried a shoulder hit here or here. And there's several shapes to reduce. But the most effective is if they reduce you and theirs is bigger, then reduce them back by kicking them out. So that's just an effective way to do it. But at this level, there's many ways that you can do things. So if you're not really worried about attacking, you're just saying, okay, now his is bigger, then just reduce. So you can reduce on the line of influence. That's fine. And when they try to kick you out, you just stay connected and run away. Stay connected and run away. Stay connected and run away.
So that sounds good. So should we try that next thing that you were going to do to start with? Have that game that you walked me through?
Yep. So Pac-Man. Yeah, so Pac-Man, if you could send him a challenge, the details will be... so Pac-Man's going to send you a challenge. It's going to just be an unranked game, and you're going to name it whatever you want. I named mine Teaching Games, but it's going to be an unranked game, 19x19, no handicap, automatic Komi, automatic color, disable analysis, Japanese live, Byoyomi, 10 minutes, 30 seconds, 5. And hopefully he will send you that in just a second.
All right, I'm ready and waiting.
And while he's sending you that challenge, one more thing about reductions is usually your opponent has 2 options to reduction, not including Tanuki. One is to try to kick you out, and they do that.
Challenge received.
Put you behind enemy lines again, and you just don't go behind.
Game started.
If you do anything like that, you just back off. Just don't fall behind the enemy line, and you stay connected. Run away. The other option is they try to defend their points. If they defend, you don't necessarily need to run away because you're not getting behind enemy lines yet. So you can actually push the border more. So when you do that, again, make sure you stay connected and you just push the border, and then you can just run out.
Okay, so...
There's 2 ways to respond. They can try to put you behind the line, you run. If they just defend, you just push until you need to do something else.
Okay, so now I've got the games up. Pac-Man's started it.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and play, and I'm going to walk in. I'm going to look at your profile. And okay, there it is. So yeah, just do open corners, open sides, and you're just going to walk through the basics. Don't worry about attacking something. The only exception to that is when you build an area and they go in, just surround them. Okay? So here, open corners, open sides, so you can build your... so you play an open side now. If you want to practice building position, yes, San Rensei is good. And so now he has three sides to play on. Okay, so now we're just going to play Joseki. Very simple. And very easy.
Thanks, okay. Pac-Man.
Now there's two sides for you to play on. Both seem pretty equal. Okay, so you play on that one. You're probably playing a little too fast. You want to slow down a little bit and think about through your moves and through your options. So you have the approach option, you have the extension option, or you have the enclosure option. Extension's perfectly fine. I just want you to know, just don't have the habit of playing fast. Let's think.
Well, I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to have a bowl, so I wanted to put something on the bottom so I could then defend.
Yeah.
So I could
Okay.
then defend.
So now we have no open sides. So now who has the largest framework? It's probably equal. So that means we can build our own. So a good way to build is shoulder hits. So there's actually a very obvious shoulder hit, which is M16 to the 2-space jump. And then that threatens to cut his base. So you can go ahead and play M16. And then when he blocks, you jump back to O16. And ta-da, you have a bowl.
Nice. That's awesome.
So this is a good way to make a bowl on against a 2-space extension or against the Shoseki. Yeah, insta bowl.
All right. But
All right, and now it's up to him on how he wants to deal with this.
and if he goes down 0-3, then that means I am able to then respond to that.
We get to make a positive exchange rate if he comes in our area.
Pegman's thinking more than I am, so that's a good thing. He's doing better.
Yep, so this is a good thinking time because whatever he decides here is going to decide the next probably 5 to 10 moves. So it's a good time to think about, do you want to reduce, do you want to invade, do you want to build while reducing? It's like, what do you want to do? And it's a decision, so he picks the one that he thinks he's more comfortable with. And so he's going to give himself a few options, read it out, and then figure out which one he's more comfortable with. So it's a good decision time. I would say probably you don't want to spend longer than a minute or two here, simply because you might overthink. So this is good. So he's going to build while reducing. Okay? So while this happens, you have to constantly ask yourself, do I have the bigger one, or does he have the bigger one? So here, what do you think?
Well, I want to respond to
There's more than one
Kate. Yeah.
No, don't just say I want to respond. We have to think, what is the goal? So there's no weak groups. So it's who has the biggest framework, white or black or both.
So I'm looking at the line between K15 and D4. So if I want to push against that line, I could do a shoulder hit at E5.
E5. That is absolutely correct, and that is correct for this level. But just as a rule of thumb, shoulder hitting a star point is usually not good. You'll learn why later. It's because you kill a lot of 3/3 invasion Aji. So, just as a rule of thumb, don't shoulder hit a star point. But another option is J14 if you wanted to reduce, and that would be fine. And that's if you want to reduce his because his is the bigger one. If you wanted to build yours while reducing, you could go L14. If you wanted to just build, you could just do K5. But J14, L14, K5 are all kind of my options.
Okay, so I'll play it safer. Right.
Okay. As soon as his becomes bigger, though, you have to go destroy it. And you can't just keep building yours. So you have to keep a very close eye on who has the bigger Mayo. Right now, I think you do for now. So we'll see what he continues to do. Because he might come up with a plan to make his bigger and say, if you want to keep yours, keep it. I'm going to make mine bigger, though. So he might come up with a cool plan. And if he does, then, yep, this is actually very nice. This is saying, hey, if you want to keep building yours, mine's going to be past the center line. So this one says, okay, what do you want to do? So this is kind of a question. So here, do you want to keep building yours? Do you want to start reducing his? You also have to keep an eye on K3 because it's going to need a base soon. So there's, again, several options, but probably you don't have the biggest Moyo anymore. He reduced on your line pretty effectively.
So I'm a bit inclined to choose N3, which I know is a safe play, And then, but if I do that, he's going to go.
That's fine. If you want to if you want safety, so that way you can have the freedom to do whatever you want, that is an okay option. Just only play safe for one move. If you're going to play safe, that is an acceptable answer, but make sure it only takes one move to do it, and then go play another move.
Okay.
Okay, so you played a base in one move. Okay, so now you have the freedom to attack K5 if you want to.
All right, and he's gonna cap that, right? He's gonna go in 5.
There's many options for him to do. So, as white, he can build his, reduce yours. He can just stay strong. There's many options for him to do. It's just a matter of he has the control of the initiative right now. So you just defend, and you're looking for the opportunity to do something. So because you defended, he doesn't really have a lot of forcing moves anymore. So you should be able to do something on the next turn. K5 is actually a nice catch.
So while I'm waiting, if he goes N5, which I suspect he'll do, but I might be totally wrong. That's what I would do. Is it okay for me to do G3? Like, is that?
Let me just stop. For your idea, M5 is better because remember we want to stay connected while we push in. So let's assume that he does M5 for your theory. And now, what was your question?
Is it okay to solidify my area on the bottom so that I've got more flexibility for attacking into his Moyo?
No, because remember, we wanted to fix with one move. You already spent one move at N3. Now, if you keep playing on the bottom, it means you are saying it's the largest framework, and that is not the case. Okay, so do you have any weaknesses?
No.
Does he have any weaknesses?
Not really. Well.
Okay, so who has the largest framework?
He does.
Okay, so we want to push his border or invade. Either one's fine.
I think.
So we can push his border.
I think I'd probably like to push from the bottom. Is H?
No, where's the line of influence? H4 is slow.
Okay.
Well, if you're trying to surround your opponent, it's an okay move. But remember, we're not learning to attack yet, so we just want to push the border. So H4 is more like pushing the border after the center's done. But we want more control of the center first.
All right. What about?
I'm more looking at K8.
Okay, K8. Wow.
K8 is threatening to put him behind the line while also pushing his line down.
Okay, but that's not very connected. So I'm like out there all on my own there, right?
Yeah, but we can have one stone floating. That's fine. We can have one group floating. That's a reduction. We just can't have two groups floating for a reduction. But one, we just run away if he tries to attack us. So we can handle one weak group. It's just more than one weak group is dangerous.
Okay.
So, like, for example, it's like saying that an invasion is not connected. Well, yeah, an invasion's not connected, but we just, live and make eyes. So you can have one weak group on the board. You just want to choose when you have the weak group. So if you're having a weak group to invade the biggest area or having a weak group to reduce the biggest area, that's fine. But only one. And then just run away as needed or make eyes as needed. But we stay connected around that area. But what we don't want to do is attack something with that weak group without a good reason. So he's going in more.
So I feel like my natural move would be to move up to connect with K8 and go up toward the top of the board, so it connects to my other group.
If he's putting you behind the line, that is true. But L14 is preventing that line preventing him from putting you behind the line. So you're not behind the line yet. If you wanted to play K10, that is an acceptable answer. 1 point jump to back up. But I think it's more powerful to push the border since he's not putting you behind the line yet. So staying connected while pushing the border.
You mean
so,
going toward like H8?
H8, yeah, H8 is fine. 1-point jumps, diagonals, both of those are fine to move in. So yeah, H8's fine. And then when he tries to surround you, then I'm going to start running away. But what do you notice? You also are surrounding him. So he's going to run you. So now he's putting you behind the line. So now it's time to run away. So definitely, so K10 for sure.
Okay. So when I originally moved it at K8, the first one, I was thinking that's an awful long way to run away all the way up to L14. But it's not actually so far. It's only 2 steps, right?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I think maybe you think it's far because like it's a big board and you're not used to it yet, but it's only like 2 1-point jumps away. So for me, it's not that far. So he keeps going in. So at this point, you have to keep asking yourself. So he's not putting you behind the line, so you're still okay. So now both players have destroyed both. So it's probably an okay result for you because his was getting bigger. So at this point, are there winning weak groups? You have a floating group, so maybe it might be worth to spend 1 move to just fix so you can maybe start invading or something. So we could probably just do that if we want to play a simple idea. We're not really thinking about attacking yet.
Of R7.
R7? No, that's not the biggest framework. The biggest framework's the left side.
Okay, well, this is why I'm having lessons. So I would have chosen R7 so I can't let white get a base on my side. That's what I was thinking. So do you think?
Yeah, but you're trying to attack again. Taking a base is attacking. We're learning how to play big moves right now.
Okay, so what about H? So what about H5 then? So it's sort of connecting me.
H5 is surrounding the weak group. H5 is a 2-space jump. That's not running away.
Okay, so thanks for being patient. So in other words, if I was to go K12, that's connecting me up to the top.
Yep, K12 is a good defense. You could play defense. Honestly, at this point, I'm almost tempted to just go play like C14 or C6 just to invade, because it's really hard for him to attack this group. But if you're unsure, if you're nervous about it, then just run away one more time, like you did at N3. Just defend once and then go play the big move. Right. So if you want to defend once and then go play the big move, that's fine. But remember, you're running away. You're not trying to attack. You're not trying to surround. You're trying to stay connected while you run. So diagonals, 1-point jumps, these are shapes that you run with at this level. 2-point jumps are very complex and very easy to get cut if you don't know how to handle them.
Right. So if I'm gonna go K12 then, because that.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. So you ran away, and now you're pretty safe until he adds another stone in that area. You're probably okay. So now he gets to choose. If I was him, I'd be playing like H5 or something for defense. But if he knows we're not going to attack you, then maybe he'll just keep going in. Yeah, there's many options for white here. But probably he's going to play on his weak group, or he might just go play a big move. Okay, so he played a big move. That's fine. We could attack him if we learned about that so far, but it's fine. We don't have to. So we're playing big move, so we've spent a move to defend, so now we want to play on the biggest framework. The biggest framework is not ours because he's reduced it so much. It's white's. So we can reduce or invade. Do you want to continue reducing? We can play D11 if we just want to reduce again, because we're strong now, so now we can use that to reduce even further. So we can play another shoulder hit, and that can be fine. We can also invade, but if we want to work on reductions today, probably we'll just stick with D11. There's other options that we'll learn, and we'll learn like when one option is better than another. But for now, we're just learning a new shape, so it's fine. It's no big deal. We're not really trying to play perfectly.
Yeah. This is awesome. This is like a brand new game for me. It's like starting over again.
The more you learn, yeah, the more you learn. It's always fun learning new tactics and stuff. And then you get to try it out, and you learn the timings. Then you add it to your little arsenal. So at this point, you can no-be or 1-point jump. Both are fine.
And if I Nobi, I was going to Nobi a D10. That's all right, isn't it?
No, D10 is not a Nobi, because that does not move forward and gain 2 liberties. D10, you have a liberty taken.
Ah, I
That's
thought
C10.
Nobi was
So
just...
D12 is...
Okay. So it just shows how much I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, D10's technically not a Nobi.
So I thought a Nobi was just joining on a stone, but a Nobi, from what you're saying now, is joining a stone that adds an extra liberty to you.
Yeah. That's why Nobis are nice. Okay, so he's trying to surround you, so run away. What's our shape to run away?
1 point jump toward my group.
Perfect. Perfect. He tried to put you behind the line, you just run away. And it's perfect. And he actually probably did this because he saw that you were actually gaining some center while pushing him down. And he's like, nope, don't want that to happen. Which is probably good, because if he doesn't stop us, we're going to have a massive center. And he's spent the whole game stopping our center, so that's good. This is fine. This is all, like, kind of even game. He's doing well to stop the center. He's leaving some weaknesses behind, so White definitely has more weakness than we do. But it's fine. We'll learn how to attack that, like, at 16Q and 15Q. But for now, we're doing a good job. So this one, just turn. It's just keep walking in.
You mean like aggressively? Like when you say turn, you mean like C12? C12?
Yeah, because you're breaking into his points. So
yeah,
make him block you.
Yeah, I love doing that. I just didn't know if you wanted me to.
And the reason is we're just pushing that border.
So where are the lines now? Is there a line from E13 to K15? Is that a key line?
Yes, but that's only one. Center section. So now, first off, our next instinct is probably B12, but we have to be careful here, because now we're getting to the second line, and second line is yose, unless we're stealing a base or something. So we have to catch ourselves here and say, before I play second line, I need to think, where's the biggest area, or where's the biggest framework. So if you wanted to reduce the top left some more, you can. Because it's just one quadrant, this is tricky, because technically...
The bottom might even be bigger, right? The bottom left?
I think the top left is bigger than the bottom left. It's just higher up. So what's a good spot to play? So we can continue reducing. I want to play J14, but that's an obvious cutting point, because it's a 1 point jump.
Yeah,
so let's play. Let's play a capping move instead. Let's play G13 to reduce. Technically speaking, an invasion would be better here, but we'll learn like the ins and outs of which one's better later. Right now, we're learning how to reduce, so that's fine. It's okay if we lose. We're learning a new concept. So now let's just focus on learning how to reduce. We're staying connected. We're making good shape. And this is fine. And we're actually going to start yose soon. So he gave you an opening, so push that F14. He can push that once. And if he knows the shape, it'll just be once. But this is the elephant's eye.
Yep.
So if he knows the shape, there's a quick block. If he doesn't know the shape, just keep pushing. He doesn't know the shape. The correct shape was E15, because it's 2 tiger's mounts. But yeah, just push until he blocks. Okay, so he's blocked because both pushes have a block. So now, trying really hard not to attack something on the left. So the top side is now sealed, so it's no longer a framework. Now it's just territory.
What about the bottom then? Can I?
We can invade that. I don't think we can reduce anywhere. Let's try though. Where can we reduce? Probably a capping move. I don't see a shoulder hit, so maybe a D6 cap.
D6. Okay, I was going to choose G5, but you're thinking D6.
G5's already blocked at G3.
Okay, so G6. I've got to understand why. Can you explain to me why D6 is better than G5?
Because G5 you're pushing down left, right? But he's already blocked at G3. But here you're pushing not just down, but also left because side.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
And also, this is kind of a low. It's kind of attacking C10 because it doesn't have a base yet. So there he made his base. But we don't know that yet. But it's kind of a double purpose.
Okay.
So here he's defending, not surrounding. So just keep pushing. So again, your reduction is fine. Just stay connected and push. And when he tries to put you behind the line, you just run away while staying connected. Okay, now he's trying to put you behind the line, so run away while staying connected. Because you're losing a liberty, Nobi, and then maybe look for a chance to jump.
If he keeps on matching me, I can't 1 space jump until... So now I can, right?
Hold on. He just peeped a 1 space jump. So before you go that one, you need to defend this one. So bamboo joint. Bamboo joint's better. If you have the option between an triangle and a bamboo, play a bamboo.
Okay, got it. Yep.
Yeah, so just because if they shift targets, don't say, oh, they ignored me, I can defend. They attacked something else. All right, so he goes here. So he played a 1 point jump, so go ahead.
I was going to just squish between them. Like, why not? That's...
Yeah. Go ahead and push. He's being a little too aggressive, and sometimes your escape route is through them. So we're going to use that in this case. This is a little more reading than we want for a 19Q, but if your opponent leaves you no choice but to walk through them, then just walk through them.
So I was going to choose E7 and just make life difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. E7. And then the correct answer is F8 because it creates a Miai to escape.
That's exactly what I would have done. That's my normal play for that.
Yeah, but this is only because he left us no choice. If we had another escape move that was easier. All right, so here, be careful. The response is G6 because you're trying to connect with a net or a squeeze play. You're not, because there's no, the ladder does not work. So you need to choose a net, and if the net doesn't work, that's okay as long as we get the forcing moves. So this is a little above your level, but this is how you utilize cutting points.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's another side note. Not our main focus, but he kind of left us no choice here. We were going to be in a lot of trouble otherwise. Now, if you didn't know this, your other solution would start. You would be at step 3 where you're surrounded. Then you would start making eye space. So B4 or C4 to start expanding your eye space. If you didn't see this,
I would have. This is.
But if they try,
This is what I would have played. This bit I know. The bit I didn't know is doing the. When I moved at E11, I should have really moved at F12. That's something I just didn't realize.
All right, so are we connected? Yes, we are connected, so we don't have to play defense. Okay, so now he's defending, so second line, we need to think about, okay, is this the biggest area? Probably not at this point. There's reasons why we could play in this area still, but not with the reasons that we know.
So I'd like to go N10 to sort of keep my area.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was going to recommend. Yeah. Now that's the last section that can make points. After this section finishes, then we're going to start yose. So that's exactly what I was going to recommend. Is a shoulder hit here, shoulder hit or cap. Just build your area. I would Nobi once and then Hane. Just be careful of cutting points. That's all it is. I'm just watching my cutting points. Make sure I have the liberties to play Hane. So Hane's always check the cut. Always check the cut.
It helps I've got those stones to the left though, right?
Yes, it helps a lot. There are many ways you can put white in a lot of trouble here because white's shape's a little flimsy, but it's no big deal. We don't it's their problem, not ours. Okay, so now we're in yose.
So
So with yose, we shift gears. Find all the second line sente moves. Start with second line.
Yep.
Find the second line sente moves. It's very important. Sente.
So I'm thinking top right corner to start with. If
R18? R18's okay.
So if I was R18, that's what I was thinking. Is that reasonable?
That is reasonable. Technically, C5 is bigger, but it's okay. It's a good start. You don't have to play it perfect. You just have to play it good. But technically, this one can be ignored because C5 is bigger.
Okay.
That's fine. So next up, probably B12. I'll show you how to do it, so that way you know what to look for. So you have B12.
Yeah. I would never have guessed B12.
Because it's second line pushing the border in Sente. It threatens the monkey jump stuff.
I like monkey jump. Oh, so now I can do a monkey jump if I wanted, right?
So now I can
Yeah.
do a monkey jump.
Yes, you can.
Right?
If you know the monkey jump, you can do it. If you don't, then you would play B13. But yeah, monkey jump is definitely the move here. It's perfect. So yeah, second line Sente, and after second line Sente, we do first line Sente, and then once we're out of first line Sente, then we push the borders in Sente.
So in all of this, we haven't even talked about ice space because we didn't even get to that point, which is interesting.
Yeah, because we're not attacking them, and they never attacked us. And you made a base at N3. Don't forget. You did play your defense, so you didn't need to worry about ice space because you had a base. You were connected. You never really got cut. You never really got surrounded. You just didn't let it happen. So first line Sente, as long as this is Sente, it's fine.
That's the nice thing about monkey jump. You can sort of push them for miles.
Yeah, if they don't know the response, you can push them for miles. So his response should probably be B18. If you can't block directly, 1 point jump is usually the way to handle it.
So no, he didn't.
Next, watch
Yeah,
cutting
just
points.
No, he didn't.
yeah.
No, always defense first. Defense is your highest priority. Always watch your cutting points.
Okay.
Don't get distracted. Okay. Watch those cutting points. Okay, so now there's no longer Sente. Okay, so first line Sente, no. Second line Sente, no. So now we push the borders. So like F4.
Okay. Now, how did you choose F4? What was the rationale?
I'm just
What
finding
was the
I'm finding the borders of the area of his area and pushing it. So like E4. All I'm doing is finding borders to push. Where's the borders of his framework / territory? I guess it's territory at this point. All right, so now I can do.
I would be inclined to do. I was going to do D5 because then I've got a chance of.
D5 is Sente, but it's also a liberty problem. Liberty, a D5 will get you killed. It's the right idea, but it's bad shape because you have bad liberties.
Okay.
If you play D5, I play F6, and you die.
Aha. Got it. All right.
So don't kill yourself. Watch your liberties and cutting points while you play shapes. Liberties and cutting points is the priority.
So where next do you reckon I should be going? Like
Be going.
D10. D10.
D10. Okay, to push in there. All right. So the point of this is I increase the chances of... I just increase my point count compared to my opponent in this stage, right?
Well, you're reducing his, and then you're going to go block yours. Yeah, so it increases the difference. But technically you're not gaining points, you're taking points. Technically, there's a cutting point that I got activated. I
So
believe.
I was thinking of B7.
B7.
No, there's no cutting point yet. I don't think B.
B7. If I do B7, he has to respond at B5, right?
He'll respond B5.
Yeah. And then I go C8.
There's no
I go
follow-up.
C8, then he has to respond. And then I go I see C9, but I'm doing too much in my head and it's not working, is it?
Not working, is it?
Yeah. So actually, no, I'm reading the exact same thing. It's just 2 moves further. So as soon as you do C9, you have 2 liberties, and he plays B9. You're an Atari. B8, you connect. You still have 2 liberties, and then A8, it's a ladder. I was reading the exact same thing though, just a couple moves further. So that is good. If you thought it worked, B7 is a fantastic move. But if you read it, there is a ladder that kills you. So it's almost.
Almost. All right.
But that also means you can play F9 in Sente, which is a reduction. It's just it requires reading. It's a reading reduction. So if we read that, then we're like, oh, okay, so F9 is Sente because it forces him to play a move inside. So that is a Sente reduction while also giving us points. So F9 would be a fantastic move. That is F10. That's still cuttable. So F9 was better.
I'm sorry. Yes.
So he plays here. Yeah. Can you handle this without getting cut?
I think so.
So defense first. Don't get cut. That one got cut. You can just Atari at F5. Trying really hard not to break White's shape. You can.
Sorry.
Just play defense. No, just play defense. I'm trying not to kill White. Just connect. Just connect. Alright, White needs to defend those cutting points. Something bad's gonna happen if he doesn't defend these cutting points. Actually, will something bad happen?
So now I'm thinking B5 because B5 has to be responded with B7, and then I can go
very
D3.
I almost can kill something.
So if I go B5, I need to fix that. That's good.
That's good.
Okay, yeah, so he fixed it. So technically there's nothing. So go ahead and like F9, because that's still Sente. If you can't cut, force him to fix while gaining points. This is in Yose, right? This is in Yose. That's not good in middle game. This is Ajikeshi in middle game. But in Yose, it's points.
So now that that's defended, I have got the ability. So that move we talked about before now is possible, right? Because he's got less liberties.
Well, you took the liberty, but he blocked, so the cutting points don't work.
Now, yeah, okay,
He
yeah.
fixed it. Okay, so now B15. We're going to push the borders again, because that's all we've been doing. Push the borders, force him to fill his own points. Yeah, it's the only move. You can take Sensente, that's fine. And he fixes his cutting points, or he fights the cut. Okay, so that's fine. And now L16. Actually, before that, K14. K14 first.
So why did you choose K14?
Because K14 threatens a Hane, but if you play L16, it doesn't. I'm wondering if it's a mistake. Go ahead and block. I'm wondering if it's a mistake, because I think it's Sente. Should be fine. It should be fine. Okay. We're pretty much out of Sente moves. So now we want a big Gote move. So R7 would be perfect. If not, R5 to defend the 3-3. Yeah, let's play R5. Let's keep it simple. To kill the 3-3. R5. kill the 3/3, and threaten some more points on the side. So now we're playing Gote moves because we're out of Sente. Technically, we could play L16, I guess, but it's fine. This is getting really big. So do you see how I played Yose?
Yes. I need to visualize it totally differently. Like, there's two big new things in this lesson for me.
Awesome. So I'm actually running out of time because I have to go pick up my wife from work in a little bit. So do you have any final questions about how I approach this?
No,
game?
that was brilliant. And thanks, Pagman, as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Pagman. I don't know if you're listening, but yeah, I'll write in chat. Thanks, Pagman, for helping. All right, do you think you've got the rest of this game? Even if you lose, it's okay. The idea is just block your borders, push the borders, and just finish up the game. If you have more points, great. If not, who cares? It was a learning experience, and you're learning new tactics. So it's okay if you lose while doing this. Just learn how these tactics work. And I wonder. I don't know how accurate the estimate score button is, or if it even works. But hopefully, this lesson gives you good direction on direction of play. It says you're up by quite a bit. It says black by 3.5, not including the bottom right. So you should be up by like 20 points.
Yep. Thanks.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's that was terrible counting for the score estimator. Anyway, so I think you're up by a little bit, but it's okay. Even if you mess it up and lose, the idea is learn how to use shoulder hits, learn how the borders of influence work, and how reductions work, and then learn how yose work, and that's the stuff you can take from this lesson.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Clossius. Much appreciated.
Not a problem. Let me write these notes. So we played Shadow Go, learned yose, shoulder hits, and how to reduce. Okay, and these are some tactics. We'll learn more about what's better, what reduction's better, or when to invade over reducing later. But for now, we're learning how to reduce in general, so it's okay if you do one over the other. But just know that soon you want to learn invasions as well and learn the differences between the two, because you don't want to only have reductions and not have invasions. You want to be able to do both. But while we're learning, it's okay to have one. But then we're going to learn the other one, and you're going to be able to make the choice at your leisure. That's the idea.
Fantastic.
If there are no more questions, I sent you the notes from our lesson, and hopefully you find that helpful.
Thanks again. Wonderful.
Yep, not a problem. Have a good one.